everyone. Welcome to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for stopping by, keeping me company as usual. If you're here with me for the first time, welcome, welcome. Please remember to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, share, and feel free to leave your comments in the comments section. And of course, I thank you in advance for giving the video a thumbs up and sharing as well. Great. To my subscribers, welcome back. Always lovely to have you and to read your comments. Yes, always read your comments. And also appreciate the fact that you share the video at the end of a week. YouTube will send me an analytics to show how many persons shared. So sharing is very important to get the message out. And next video, we're going to discuss it because that message that we're going to bring in the next video is very important that everybody in Jamaica gets it, because then they'll understand what these people are about. All right, great. So now that you've shared, give the video a thumbs up. I want to thank you all for doing so. Now that you're back with me, let's get down to business. So what am I bringing you today? I'm going to be bringing you the Englishman's speech in Western St. Mary last night. And I want you to watch the man, watch him good, because it seems to me that he's showing the similar signs that he showed at that Manning's High School meeting in 2021, where he appeared to have been more than a little tipsy. He seemed to have been out of sorts. Watch his body language, watch his whole action. It's almost as if he's in a world of his own and he's listening to some private tuning in his own mind. Just pay close attention to him, right? And I'll rejoin you with some more observations.
And one of Jamaica's best legal mind, the president of the People's National Party.
Yeah, when this is me, the man representing from when this is me, the man representing from Angolin, aka Marky G. Yeah, them not bad like we. Now them know we. Them just see it. Yeah, man, pan TV, Zaga, Z.
Now I want you to pay very close attention to this segment of the crowd, because you're going to see them throughout this video, this particular segment. And I want you to pay close attention to the number of persons you see standing here. You see how many? Yes. So let us now return to hear what the Englishman had to say.
Marky G, I know you are champion. Everybody wave on the right hand. Put up your fist. Hi.
Comrade Chairman of the meeting. Comrades on the platform. Special shout out to Dr. Maurice Guy, elder statesman in a St. Mary. Yeah, man. 2025, PNP hot this year. What them are going to do the whole way? Yeah, man. Them get to the wicked this year. Not even water can fool with. Yeah, man. Comrades, I am traveling all over this land, the highways and the byways, the hills and the valleys, and I can tell you that the ground is fertile. The people want to see change, and the people want to see the People's National Party stepping up and taking back power in Jamaica to move the country forward and rid ourselves of a corrupt government that can't cross it and can't deliver hope and positive movements and change for this land. The Prime Minister has been talking about a pivot to growth, he says. They even call it aspire, but them can inspire with their aspire. And it's time that they should expire, because we want better in Jamaica.
Now, I want you to pay close attention also to the comrades being, making a lot of noise and responding to his comments. I want you to pay close attention, because I'm going to be playing you something shortly, and you will hear a stark difference. Pay close attention now, and when they show you the pictures of the cross section, you see the response of the comrades who are there, right? So let us return to the Englishman.
For 9 years, he has been the Minister of Economic Growth. And after 9 years, the man is talking about time to pivot to economic growth. What can go so? They have had 9 years to show what they can do. They have not delivered meaningful growth in the economy after 9 years. They promised 5% growth at the end of 4 years, and we gone 9 years, and we have negative growth in 2024, below zero. Them not ready yet, and them can't cross it, and it's time for them to go.
So he just touched on the economy. Important for him to do so. He has to give the impression that everything is bad. And even if with the comrades in St. Mary might be good, because they are comrades, and comrades often think outside of themselves and think about others. He is hoping to take advantage of that fact and give the impression that not now go on, them people feel, and so therefore it's time for them to go. That's his job. That's what he has done. The question is, what exactly is the personal experience of each one of those comrades who were standing before him? You notice that even though you heard the vuvuzela going and you see the flags waving, it was not quite as vociferous as before when he made this comment. This may be signs of something with respect to how the economy is affecting the people's lives. But here is the problem that this line of attack faces, because if in people's personal experience they are better off than they were before, right? More jobs for them and so on, then this will not resonate with them at all, because they would know that for them and their family, life would have improved. And this is a risk that they are taking by using this line of attack, right? The unemployment rate is now down, I understand, to what? 3.6%, which means only 86,000 persons who are seeking jobs can't find job, right? You have a situation where the minimum wage has more than doubled. And in US dollar terms, in real terms, it almost doubled. That is something real. The problem the government faces, though, is the high cost of living, which is now eating out the gains made when the minimum wage was increased. Another point to be made about this line of attack is what he said about no growth in the economy. That don't mean a thing to the 83% people who are on the minimum wage. That don't mean nothing to them. Why? Because there is no relationship whatsoever between the growth in the economy and what is happening in people's lives. And I heard you say, huh? What Michelle chat say? Listen to what I say. There is no relationship whatsoever with the growth in gross domestic product and people's lives. Let me give you an example. Let us say you have a manufacturer that employs 200 people and is producing 10,000 items for the year. If that manufacturer were to retool, he could still employ those 200 people or even less with the retooling and produce 3 times more per annum than he did before. That would result in growth in the gross domestic product would increase over the previous year because he is now producing 3 times more with the same amount of labor or even less, depending on the equipment. So when I say the growth in the gross domestic product, right, the growth in the economy does not necessarily mean anything to the people. That is what I am talking about. What is important, and the only thing that is important to people, And I am talking about the vast majority of the people who depend on other people for work, is the growth and the expansion in the job market. It is the job market that is going to determine whether you have a work or you're at home not earning any money. Right? So it's the expansion in the job market that we ought to hear the politicians them talk about, especially those who are seeking power. As it stands, there is a lot of expansion in the job market, and that's the reason why the unemployment rate is down to 3.6%, because the job market has expanded. See what I'm saying? Great. And these are the things that the politicians need to focus on, expanding the job market. And so that our money can maintain its value, they need to maintain that inflation as close to zero as possible so that our currency can maintain the value, and what we buy with it yesterday can buy almost the same amount in another 5 or 10 years. That's what we want to hear from a politician. But are we hearing that? No, and this foreigner is not telling us that either.
Comrades, I have a plan for Jamaica. And our plan is based on uplifting the people of Jamaica, investing in the people of Jamaica, so that the people of Jamaica don't have to think that it's only foreign them can go for make it in life, because we want a Jamaica where you can make your life nice, right, yeah, so, and achieve your hopes and dreams right here in sweet, sweet Jamdong.
You heard that? Let me make you hear it again.
I have a plan for Jamaica. I have a plan for Jamaica. And our plan is based on uplifting the people of Jamaica, investing in the people of Jamaica.
So you heard what the plan is that I supposedly have to invest in the people of Jamaica. Now, let me point out something to you. Whatever money that we are paying in taxes is earmarked for a program to pay government workers, to pay teachers, to provide facilities for our children in education, paying for streetlights and so on, to provide the health care, pay for the medication, pay doctors, nurses, pay the police, pay for the equipment for the police. We have the children's home and the juvenile facilities, prisons, all of these things, as well as paying the civil servants and paying the debt that we owe. That is the first charge on the consolidated fund. That is by constitution. The debt is the first charge. Then there is the matter of our public thoroughfare. The roads have to be maintained. The roads have to be fixed. We have to fix the bridges and pay people to keep the place clean as well. So this is where all of the money that we pay in tax go now. Yes, the government will prepare a budget, and the new budget year is coming up in March. And when they prepare that budget, it is possible that they may collect more or they may collect less than budgeted for. But the point is, the revenue of the government is determined by taxation, fees, and services that the government offers. All revenue from taxes and other sources, all of it is earmarked to be spent paying our national debt, paying the government workers, and providing services for the people, repairing the infrastructure, and funding various government projects. Okay? Now, when the Englishman is going to come and tell you,
I have a plan for Jamaica. And our plan is based on uplifting the people of Jamaica, investing in the people of Jamaica,
then it is important that we know what this investment will be. What form will the investment take? Why? Because it's going to have an implication for revenue. In other words, there is no room in the revenue for any program because the money has already been programmed out. Not only by this government, but previous governments who would have put things in place. And therefore, He's either going to have to cut some of those programs or plans or get new taxes to fund this plan that him coming with. Now, the instant you hear a man say that he's going to do something that is going to make all the people in Jamaica nice, you know that he has no plans. Because there is no such panacea plan, especially in this idiotic system, that is going to be able to make everybody in Jamaica nice. Right? What you're looking at is a man who is trying very hard to convince the people that he has a plan that can fix them problems. Right? But him not telling you what it is. We can't hear the plan because him say the labor rights with teeth it. So we just have to trust him have a plan. He has a plan that Michael Manley never had, that Eddie Siaga never had, that PJ never had, Bruce never had, Portia never had, but him have the plan that will make everybody nice and no one live a foreign again. This migration thing has been going on even since the British were here, you know. Even in the 60s, when cost of living was extremely low and things did nice in Jamaica, we lived through it. Right? Him have a plan. And yet, not only is he keeping that plan secret from us, I needed to think about this. He was part of the Portia Simpson Miller government and he was keeping this plan secret from her too. As my late father would say, if you believe that, you believe anything. The man has no plan. And the mere fact that he's overselling this secret plan, this mysterious plan, tells you that he has no plans, none whatsoever. When they wanted to get hold of the PNP and get hold of government, it is to enrich themselves because it was through government that they became rich in the first place, through all of what was being done for them when they had Daring, Bunting and Golding. But let us not get ahead of ourselves. Let us now listen to hear if maybe finally, he'll tell us what the secret plan is.
Our policy is to uplift the farmers of this land by making agriculture attractive and providing the necessary support. And we have a man of energy, a brilliant man in Dr. Dayton Campbell, who will be carrying the agriculture portfolio forward. And I know he will deliver for Jamaica, because food security is a real challenge in this time of climate crisis. And we must do something about it so our people don't have to rely on foreign even to eat food.
All right, so we're getting somewhere. So the 250,000 farmers are being appealed to, that they have the magic wand that going to make agricultural self-sufficient in Jamaica, that we don't need foreign imports anymore. The British couldn't solve that problem. The previous prime ministers couldn't solve that problem, but them said them no, and them going to solve the problem. With who? A first-rate dunce. Is it dunce, that is going to solve the problem? And he already told us what his intentions were, to put taxes on the imported food, which would then make them more expensive. And that is the way now he was going to make local agriculture competitive with the foreign items that are coming in that would ordinarily be cheaper if there were no customs duty paid on them. Are you understanding? So that is his plan. So already there's a shortage of food in Jamaica, which is the reason why the prices are high. So they are promising the farmer that they are going to make them be able to sell their farm produce by limiting the imports that's coming in, by outright banning onion and potatoes and putting high tariffs on the other food items. So that now will make the local farmers make money. But here's the problem. The real problem is that the rest of the population is going to find that they can't buy food. The thing is bad as it is now. The food price is bad as it is now, with the imported foods coming in to supplement the shortage of food in Jamaica. That's what is happening. And them going to make it worse by limiting the imports. Why? Because they have not articulated any plans on how it is they're going to increase the local food production. That's the reason why. That would mean that the food prices in Jamaica would double or treble or quadruple. And who will be able to pay that? Because if you think price of food high now, if you were stupid enough to put that foolish fellow, the Englishman, into Jamaica House, right? And then come with this plan, the first thing that will happen is the instant they put the taxes on the food, the people will stop import. Those investors will then take their money and go do something else, right? And then the price of food would go sky high. And when the price of food goes sky high, those people living in the urban areas are them are going to suffer the most. What is more, the farmers not going to benefit from what it is they claim that they are going to do for them. Why? Because as food prices go up, people are going to be start to demanding more money. Transportation cost is going to go up, and labor cost is going to go up as well. But anyway, let us continue to listen to what else he has to say.
Our policy is to sort out the crisis in the education system. Because if we start the youth them right, they are bright and the future will be brighter still. And that's why we have Damian Crawford in that ministry, medicing it out night and day to find a solution to solve the crisis in education. We have a crisis in healthcare in this country. If you're sick and you have to go to a public hospital and you need immediate attention, dog, name your supper.
Here is that section of the crowd I am telling you about. Look at the comrades. You recall how it did pack before? Look at it now. Where the comrades ain't gone? Gone at them yard. But you not see nothing yet. Let us continue to listen.
Because you're not going to get to see a doctor. You're going to sit down on a bench or in a wheelchair in a corridor for hours and hours and days with no dignity. And the system treats you like you're nobody. And that is wrong. And we have to fix that too. And we have Dr. Alfred Dawes as our consultant surgeon with the experience and mental capacity to deliver the change. We don't want a minister who can only do well in public relations and marketing in the health ministry. We need a minister who can deal with the real problems and solve them. Comrades, I want to say a little bit about this constitutional reform business.
Hey, now we come to the nitty-gritty. Did you hear what the man said?
I want to say a little bit about this constitutional reform business.
You hear how the man has style our road to republic? This constitutional reform business. And this is the rubbish that is on the screen now that the PNP people want to put in a Jamaica House to cut them own throat. Anyway, let us listen to what he said and how the comrades respond. Pay very close attention. Remember how they were noisy before? Listen good.
Comrades, I want to say a little bit about this constitutional reform business. Because this government say they're pursuing constitutional reform. They set up a committee where other than the two that I appointed and Hugh Small who I recommended, all of the people in that committee were handpicked by the government. So it wasn't a broad-based committee of Jamaicans representing stakeholders to decide what kind of reform they want. That's why our people, our representatives never signed the report of that committee, because it was committing to do things that we don't agree with.
You heard that? If a pin did drop among the comrades, you would have heard it. I'm not going to interrupt you much longer. I'm just going to say this bit and then let you listen to the duration, then I'll have my say. If you listen to what he's saying, the man is lying. The man said that the members of the committee that he elected, notice he said that the government handpicked persons to put on this committee, and yet he did the same thing. he had an opportunity to appoint 2 persons, and instead of trying to get persons outside of the party, he went and selected people in the party. Now he's complaining that the members didn't sign because the government was coming with things that they did not like. That's a lie. It was he who told them not to sign because he had a problem. And one of them was this business of the dual citizenship, right? Where they were saying that persons who had dual citizenship cannot sit in the parliament. It was very clear in this proposed constitution that we're going to be setting up, right? To ushering the republic. And that was why he objected and told Donna Scott Motley and Tony Hilton not to sign on what they had all sat down and agreed on. He told them that, right? And then we later found out that he is a British citizen. No connection with the island except through his wife. Had his British passport traveling on all his life until he was 46 in 2011. He got a Jamaican passport for the first time, and we are not sure if he is entitled to hold that Jamaican passport. Right? And he is illegitimate in our parliament. Now let us continue to listen and pay close attention to the pin that you hear drop among the comrades.
That's why our people, our representatives never signed the report of that committee, because it was committing to do things that we don't agree with. And they now bring legislation to amend the constitution to the parliament. And they don't come and deal with us and say, all right, how are you going to solve this issue so that we can move forward together and amend the constitution? It's like they want to push it down our throat and disrespect we, and we're not into that. They appointed a joint select committee, and we said we would go on the joint select committee. But we see this issue, if we leave in the monarchy in England, and time come for him leave the monarchy in England, you can't just leave the king as your head of state and keep the king's court as the final court of this country, where our constitution is them say what it mean. Our laws is them say how it go. And we supposed to be sovereign and independent. No. And if you ever have to carry a case up there, unless you're a multi-millionaire, you can never take a case to the Privy Council unless somebody up in England who have money, sorry for you, and pay for your legal fees. Because the cost of traveling there and fighting a case at our final court is out of reach of every Jamaican other than the very super rich people. In the meantime, we have the Caribbean Court of Justice. It is accessible. You don't need a visa for go there, like you have to go to London. They will come to Jamaica and hear cases like they did for a daughter from, I think, Waterhouse or one of them places, Shanique Myrie, when she beat up the Barbados government because they excluded her from when she went there, and she win her case and then pay her money as compensation. The CCJ gave her justice. The CCJ is an excellent court. Design, we were part of the design. Jamaica, we were part of the financing. Jamaica, it is delivering justice at the highest level. And it is time that we accept this jurisdiction as our final court. We want full decolonization now. We want it for you, the ordinary Jamaican people, so you have access to justice. We're tired of the situation since slavery days where you can't go to your final court because it is not accessible to you. We have not boycotted this joint select committee. I have said, and I said it at the first meeting of the committee, we want to know what the government's position is, and we want to hear it from the Prime Minister as to why he wants to continue with a system where the Jamaican people don't have effective access to their final court. Why he wants to keep that as a system on the people. We are saying we're leaving the monarchy, we're leaving them fully, full decolonization now. Jamaica must stand up and take its place in the world with pride. Marcus Garvey, just get him exoneration or him pardon. And we must have the pride in ourselves to know that we can build institutions of quality that look about the interests of our people. So I say, We are not boycotting that committee. But until the Prime Minister, who has been promised for over a year to say what his position is on this issue, comes to the Jamaican people and explains his position, we are pausing our participation on that committee. And when we hear what the Prime Minister has to say, if it makes sense, we can talk. And if it don't make sense, well, I just so. I don't think this thing is going to go anywhere at this time, because we have to have more discussions to see if we can arrive at a consensus position to take the country forward when it comes to constitutional reform. And that is the basic issue, comrades and friends, around that particular piece of legislation. Comrades, Jamaica is at a point where change is necessary. The last 10 years have been dedicated to fixing the public finances and the debt crisis. Now we need to move forward. We've solved that issue substantially, but we haven't been able to move the people's standard of living forward. People are suffering, people are hungry, the cost of living is too high, the infrastructure of the country is deteriorating, and the government, it seems, unable to do anything meaningful about it. They're selling future assets like 12 years of income from the Norman Manley Airport, and they're spending it on trying to win an election, on gimmicks and feel-good policies that won't last. So they're taking future income for present-day satisfaction. That is poor fiscal management. And they're talking about selling equity in Trans-Jamaican Highway to fund them budget again. I want to hear what their plans are to make sure that those resources build human capital so that tomorrow can be better than today for the Jamaican people. We don't hear nothing from them yet. And Jamaica wants a government of integrity. They want a prime minister that you can have trust and confidence in. Somebody who is declarations with the Integrity Commission can be certified. Somebody who signed the leadership code of conduct and ensured that all of his spokesmen and parliamentarians have signed it. The Jamaica Labour Party has embraced an antagonistic position towards the Integrity Commission. Andrew Holness bring a lawsuit to try and overturn the entire anti-corruption framework of the country, and to say that there's no such offense as illicit enrichment, which he's under investigation for as the first of the 8 that the Integrity Commission has brought the report to Parliament. He is not in good standing with the Integrity Commission, and it is a disgrace to Jamaica that our head of government is in that position. If it was me in that position, me that take with myself, I wouldn't have the effrontery to say I must continue to run the country when my thing not straight.
So you see the crowd now for yourself. The section that had people, look at them, scanty. They were not as vociferous as normal crowds would be, comrades, when they hear how Andrew Holness statutory declaration no pass, and that him carrying the Integrity Commission to court. The people were not very responsive, right? And as you can see, look at them. Just take a look at the expression. Some of them look at it a little hopeful. Some of them have them hand in them mouth or them jaw, or them just, standing there waiting as if they come there to hear something that they have not heard. So the people were leaving, right? During his presentation, the same thing that was happening to him before. The people don't really want to hear nothing from him. The comrades don't want him to be their leader. Them not want him to be prime minister. But since it's him, them force upon them, them a try to make the best of it. But when they hear the man talk, they can't take it, then leave and go about them business. It has happened everywhere, down to in their own constituency when he had the conference last year, right? The place was practically empty. And his excuse was, well, we decided to make it low-key because of all of the suffering happening in Jamaica. He made some comments about the constitutional reform, and he's seeking to give the impression that the government does not have a position. I'm sure the comrades know that, because a long time this thing I talk about, that the PNP wants the CCJ, but they want the CCJ to be imposed on the people. And the Labour Party is saying that they wanted to go to a referendum to let us decide whether or not we want this court. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? And why it is that this Englishman don't want the CCJ to come to us in a referendum. What it is that they know about the attitude of the people towards the CCJ. Why they don't want it to be put before the people. Right? Did you notice when he spoke about slavery? Let me make you hear the piece there again.
We're tired of the situation since slavery days where you can't go to your final court because it is not accessible to you.
So we tired of the situation since slavery days, right? Where you can't get justice from your final court because it's not acceptable to you. So finally, he's making a distinction between himself and the rest of us for the first time. All the while you hear me talk about our ancestors through the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors, right? Our ancestors didn't come here as free people, and now hear him? So we can't get no justice from our final court since slavery. Yes, you, yeah, man. I don't know if he has any much more to say.
So comrades, this is the year of decision. This is the year where Jamaica gets to decide whether we're moving forward with a new government in a new direction that puts people at the center, puts development at the center, invests in the people so that the people can be uplifted.
And yet you can't do none of that for the people of South St. Andrew. Hell, he can't even do that for his own company, Proven, which is losing a lot of money. His own company is failing. But he wants us to believe that him can't solve him one problem, but him know how to solve our problems.
So that the cost of living is better managed, so that industries have a better chance of success and international competitive performance, where the training system is relevant and people can get trained for the type of jobs that are coming in the future.
And my friends, I think that this is where we should end it. End it at this foolish remark. You're going to be training people today to show you how ridiculous these people are. We have a problem where 83% of our people are living on minimum wage. Over 700,000 people are thereabouts without skill. You are going to be training the people for the future when that job does not exist at present. So you're going to take a person, put them in a class to study for something, for a job that don't materialize yet. And when them finish studying, presumably you're going to make them pay for it. What then do they do with this certification, diploma, or degree in something that does not exist as present? You know, sister, these people not making any sense. Them just talking certain things to appeal to young people because them think young people don't have no sense. What is he talking about? Anyway, folks, let me leave it here for now. I will have another video for you later. I'd have to work out the kinks in it. And then I will upload and let you hear it. For now, let me thank you all for listening and being patient. Also for sharing, liking, and subscribing, and leaving your comments in the comments section. Until next time, you take very good care of yourselves and walk good.